What up, what up? It's Garage Gym Homie, and today I'm just talking about a little bit about what happened when I stopped swearing. What happened in my life, and is it worth it? So before I get into this here, please click the subscribe button. I got content coming out every day for you now, from health food reviews, supplement reviews, gizmos, gadgets, goodies, all sorts of good finds for you fine folks out there. So click subscribe and let's get into this. Man, High Stim Saturday, we're gearing up for it. Oh my, you see that? Garage Gym Homie gear is on. Facts, not feelings. What else do I got here? Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. What's that say? High Stim Saturday. Can you see that? Can you folks see that? Let's see. Boom. High Stim Saturday. Garage Gym Homie gear. Got it on. We're in full effect today, man. It's going to be a huge High Stim Saturday. So anyway, listen. This was on my mind. I was thinking about this because there's reasons here. I'm going to connect this together for you. A couple years ago was my birthday in July. About, I'd say, it had to be 1.5 July. Wow. Almost 2 years ago now, my birthday in July. I had a surprise birthday party. Went to a restaurant, a surprise party for me. And I was turning 33 years old. So I had some homies there, and I had some people that were my girlfriend, who was my ex-girlfriend at the time, some of the homies, and I had a couple people who I sponsored in the AA program. And we were all there together. These people had never met each other. And I was just sitting there talking junk. And I just was talking like I normally do. I started saying, the F word about, 10 times. F this, you're a effing da-da-da-da-da. I just used to talk like that when I was around the homies, And the guy who I was sponsoring said, "What?" He said, "I've never heard you swear before." And I looked at him and I thought, and my ex said to him, "He swears all the time." And I thought to myself, that's kind of embarrassing. He's right. I never swore in front of him because I tried to put up this image that I was like this wholesome, spiritual person who doesn't swear. My sponsor, he doesn't swear, definitely, or at least he doesn't swear around me, but I don't think he swears. And I was trying to portray that same thing to the people I sponsored. So I had a decision to make. I realized, why should I have to act one way in front of some people and talk one way in front of another group of people? So I could either start swearing in front of everybody and be consistent, or I could make a decision to use this as a positive growing opportunity and not swear in front of anybody. Now, this is not a video. There's more here. It gets deep. This is not a video about, oh, I'm better because I don't swear and you do. I don't judge people. That's called what we call an ego trap. When we decide to do something that's spiritual for ourselves to help us grow, and then we judge others because they still do that. That's an ego trap. So for instance, that's like someone who's going to say, well, I'm going to be a vegan. Okay, good for you. And then they become vegan, and then they start judging everybody else who eats meat. That's the ego. If you're going to do something spiritual to try and grow, that's for you. This isn't about judging. There's nothing wrong if you swear. Like when I gave up watching porn, that wasn't for me to judge everyone else who still watches porn. That was for me to grow. So we got to be real careful for those kind of ego traps, So the point is this. it was difficult for me to stop swearing. It took a while, it took months, and I did it by asking for God's help. I was like, please help me with, cleaner language, help me, so I'm not swearing, talking like that anymore. I want to do better, yada, yada, yada. So what happened? The way things are with me, when I start asking for things and I'm focused and I meet halfway with my action, doing my part, it happens. So, that was removed from me. I stopped swearing. I don't swear anymore. But something came with it that was really powerful. That the swearing was just like the tip of the iceberg. When I stopped swearing, the things that I learned, that the things that come out of our mouths are what, come back in our lives. So it wasn't just swearing, it was the way that I spoke to. Calling women the B word, calling women a hoe or a slut. I stopped talking like that altogether. I stopped talking all that like super trash talk. I started being really more conscious of the things that were coming out of my mouth. And down the road, like 6 months went by, a year went by, I realized, wow, I don't even think about the same things that I used to anymore. I don't even think about women in the same way, or, if everyone was a bastard, the way that was my like initial thought about everybody, everybody's a bastard, everybody, not the word bastard, but, and that's a kind word for it, POS or this or that. That was where my initial thought. And the less I started speaking like that, the less I started thinking like that. So my head cleaned up a lot based on the things that were coming out of my mouth. And it was amazing how it happened. So here we are now. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because my spiritual life goes like this. Sometimes I'm doing really well and I feel really connected to my heart and to what my idea of God is. Everyone has their own idea, or following my heart, or like feeling real spiritual, real good. And sometimes I feel distant from it, and that's when I need to tighten up again, when I'm really like catching myself. So being conscious, not only the way I talk about people, gossiping around people. In Judaism, they call it lashon hara, which is the evil tongue. And what that means is that you're talking bad about people behind their back. You get in a group of people and your initial reaction is to start talking about someone else who's not there. It's easy to do, gossiping, and it's really bad for our soul and for our spirit. And it just sucks the energy out of us. Gossiping about other people, or listening to other people gossip and believing it, is just as bad. And it just sucks the life out of us. So stopping swearing for me opened up a whole door of things where I started being conscious of all this stuff, thinking about who am I talking about behind their back? How am I speaking about people? Am I getting together with people and talking about people who aren't there? And the things that were like really just soul suckers, just were bad for it just didn't feel good. And once you start being conscious of it, it really feels bad to do it. Now, granted, I fall short of it constantly. I am always falling short of it and trying to get better. Like, I do it, I'll see someone ride the bike. I'm in the garage hitting the weights. I see someone ride down the street in the bike. And my first thing to think is, and they're riding a bike wearing a freaking mask. And I think to myself, what a freaking idiot. I say it out loud. What a freaking brainwashed moron that person is, riding a bike outside in the fresh air wearing a mask. It's not the right way to react. Whether it's true or not, the point is that when you're talking about other people, and when you're speaking that way, it causes you not to look within yourself. And I do it constantly. I fought the most spiritual people in the world. I don't care who they are. We all fall short of when it comes to talking poorly about others. We all do it. I don't care who you are. We all fall short of it, myself especially. And I have to remember that these people are in fear. Anytime we're talking about people like that, it's because of some fear we have ourselves. When we're angry, there's always fear behind it. When we're dishonest, there's always fear behind it. There's never a reason to lie unless we're scared of something. So stopping swearing was just a door opening for me to start being conscious of all the other things that were coming out of my mouth, like gossiping, bad talking, the way I spoke about women, the way I spoke about people who weren't there. I shouldn't look at someone walking their dog wearing a mask and think, what a brainwashed idiot. I should look at them and think, that person must be terrified. And I'm terrified too, in a different way. I'm scared too, especially me, an addict alcoholic. I know what fear is like. I lived in fear, and I see the way things are going in this country, and bro, I'm scared myself. I don't want a COVID freaking I don't want it, man. I'm terrified of what's happening in a different way. So I know what fear is like. So the point is, these things kind of opened up the door for me to really take a look inside. Stopping swearing was just kind of, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't ask for help from, what we call higher power or God, because alone I can't just stop doing that. I can't clean up my head. It's too noisy up here in my head, especially of an alcoholic. The noise of an addict and alcoholic's head is so freaking loud. I can't make such drastic growth in my life without asking for help, without tapping down, quieting the noise in here, and tapping down as deep as I can within my heart, and watching for those ego traps and doing things for the right reason. The best way to help somebody is to lead by example. So when you're in a group of people and they're talking about other people, and you're not like jumping in and being like, hey, what did that person do? You're leading by example with your actions by not feeding into that. When I'm not swearing in my YouTube videos, what I hope is that I'm helping by leading by example. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong if you're swearing, but that was growth that needed to happen for me, or else I wouldn't have been conscious of all these other things that were coming out of my mouth that were disgusting. And it hurts, man, when you're around people and they're talking so negatively about other people. And then it hurts too when I'm supposed to be growing spiritually and I'm still catching myself talking negatively about it. I'll walk away from a conversation and be like, man, that felt freaking ugly, the way that I shouldn't even speak about people that way. I'm doing it constantly. So I've been catching myself doing it lately, and I want to tighten back up and get better and grow from this and get back, because there's a lot of stuff with all this COVID stuff and stuff happening in the world, and we can go one of two ways. We can freaking really use this as an opportunity to grow and become the best person we can be and be as spiritual as possible and see the blessings in all this, because we really don't know what's coming next. So we have to, that's like our body armor. We got to be the best people we can be physically. We got to be training. We got to be spiritually, mentally, everything prepared, because we don't know what's next. Or we could go the other way, man, and get sucked into all the politics, negativity, talking bad about people we don't agree with, splitting families up over our differences and all that. It all starts with what comes out of our mouth. So that's what stopping swearing did for me. It made me grow and be more conscious of all these things. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I just wanted to bring up something deeper once a week, other than some stimulants, supplements. Then we can get back to getting jacked out of our minds and going hard on the freaking weights. So, hey, what's coming out of your mouth that's holding you back or not making you, the best person you can be, or keeping you kind of spiritually sick like I described that, you know, I've struggled with and still struggle with. So that's what I got for you. If you like this, so yeah, not swearing, back to the original question, is definitely worth it. So together, let's get this dang muscle. If you like the review on not swearing, subscribe to the channel. If you didn't freaking like the review, also subscribe to the channel. God bless all of you. I'm out.